The man she can't stop thinking about isn't the best-looking guy in the room. He's not the richest, and he's not even the funniest. What sets him apart is something most men overlook. He understands something about female psychology that 95% of men never figure out. And no, it has nothing to do with pickup lines, flashy gifts, or trying to act like an alpha male. Somewhere right now, there's a man making a woman feel something she's never truly felt before. Not just lust, not comfort, and not even love in the usual sense. He's making her feel psychologically seen on a level that bypasses the emotional defenses she's built after years of surface-level relationships and unmet expectations. By the end of this video, you'll understand why some men effortlessly attract high-quality women while others struggle, even if they have looks, money, or confidence. You'll learn how common dating advice might actually be setting you up for failure. And most importantly, you'll discover the one trait that makes a man unforgettable, not temporarily, but for good. If you're ready for something real, let's begin. Once you see this, you can't unsee it, and you'll realize just how much time you've wasted trying to look attractive instead of actually being attractive. Section 1. The validation trap. Why everything you've been taught about attraction is backwards. Let's start by breaking down one of the biggest lies that's quietly sabotaged men's dating lives for decades. The idea that women are attracted to men who constantly validate them. I know it's everywhere. Dating advice, romantic comedies, even self-help books tell you to make her feel special, tell her she's beautiful, show her how much you care, and always validate her feelings. But here's the brutal truth: validation, when overdone, is the fastest way to become invisible to a woman. Now, before you think this means you should be cold, rude, or dismissive, that's not it at all. What matters is how validation works on a psychological level. According to research by Dr. Robert Cialdini on influence and persuasion, humans instinctively value what we have to work for. When something comes to isolate, our brains assign it less worth, not consciously, but automatically through our reward systems. So when you constantly compliment a woman, agree with everything she says, or make it obvious you're seeking her approval, her brain registers your attention as low value. It required no effort from her, so it doesn't feel meaningful. This triggers what psychologists call cognitive ease, a state where something is so easy to process that it feels unearned. But here's where things get interesting. The men who naturally attract women, the ones who are described as different or intriguing, they know something deeper. They understand that women don't want to be endlessly validated for who they are right now. What they really crave is a connection that challenges them to grow into who they could be. That emotional edge, the feeling of being understood but also inspired, is what makes a man unforgettable. Let me give you a real example. Two men meet the same woman at a coffee shop. She mentions she's a graphic designer. Man A, the validator, smiles and says, "Wow, that's amazing. You must be so creative. I bet you're really talented. That's such a cool job." Man B, the challenger, raises an eyebrow and says, "Graphic design, huh? So you're one of those people who thinks choosing between 12 shades of blue is a creative decision." He smiles slightly and follows up with, "What kind of design actually challenges you?" In that moment, Man A tells her she's already great, nothing more to prove. Man B, on the other hand, lightly suggests she may not be living up to her full potential and gives her the opportunity to show him otherwise. Guess which one she's still thinking about 3 hours later? This isn't about being mean or dismissive, it's about understanding a fundamental truth. Real attraction is created not by comfort but by psychological tension. The Stoic philosopher Seneca once wrote, "Every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end." When it comes to attraction, that means something new and exciting only happens when a woman's certainty about herself, her beliefs, or what she thinks she wants is gently disrupted. The men women can't forget are the ones who challenge and stretch their self-concept in a way that leads to growth, not the ones who reflect back what they already believe about themselves. Most men are so afraid of rejection, so eager to be accepted, that they turn into psychological echo chambers, agreeing with everything, avoiding friction, and offering predictable validation that fades from memory within minutes. But echo chambers don't spark desire. They spark boredom. The man who understands this doesn't just validate women, he elevates them. He sees the potential they haven't yet accessed and refuses to accept the limited version of themselves they've settled into. And that, gentlemen, is the beginning of genuine, lasting attraction. Now, before we go deeper, I've got something for you. It's a free ebook called The Attraction Handbook. Inside, you'll learn how to activate a woman's emotional interest using just a few simple but powerful psychological switches. It's available right now, totally free. through the link in the description or the pinned comment below. Now, Section 2. The Psychological Gap: Why Women Are Drawn to Men They Can't Fully Figure Out. Meet Sarah. She's a successful attorney, highly intelligent, driven, and used to being in control. She's dated doctors, entrepreneurs, even fellow lawyers on paper, perfect matches. But none of them ever sparked that electric feeling, that obsessive curiosity. Then she meets Jake. Jake is a carpenter who builds custom furniture, lives in a converted warehouse, reads philosophy books during lunch, and holds strong opinions on things Sarah has never even considered. When she vents about her high-stress cases, Jake doesn't coddle her or offer cliché advice. Instead, he asks, "Why did you choose a career that seems so disconnected from your values?" 3 weeks later, this high-functioning logical woman is reshuffling her schedule, just to spend more time with the one man who challenges everything she thought she wanted. What did Jake understand that her previous boyfriends didn't? The answer lies in what I call the psychological gap. Modern research in attraction psychology, particularly from Dr. Helen Fisher, shows that uncertainty activates the brain's reward system far more intensely than certainty does. When we don't fully understand someone's motivations, and when their responses can't be easily predicted, our brain locks onto them. We want to solve them like a puzzle. But here's what most people get wrong. This isn't about being chaotic or emotionally unavailable. It's about cultivating psychological depth, having real, layered, genuine interests, thoughts, and values that can't be instantly summarized. Most men, in their eagerness to connect, overshare everything too soon. They unpack their entire life story on the first date. They try to explain their personality, justify their choices, and make themselves psychologically transparent in an attempt to be relatable. What they don't realize is they're killing the very thing that makes them magnetic. The men who attract effortlessly aren't mysterious because they hide. They're mysterious because they've developed a rich inner life that can't be immediately accessed. Carl Jung once observed that we're most attracted to people who represent undeveloped parts of our own psyche. In modern terms, women, especially those who are accomplished and high-control fan, feel deeply drawn to men who embody psychological freedom. Jake the carpenter wasn't playing games. He wasn't withholding. He simply had depth, real, authentic depth. He read philosophy because he loved ideas, not because he wanted to impress anyone. He worked with his hands because he enjoyed creating, not because it elevated his status. He built a life around what mattered to him, and that authenticity was more powerful than any pickup line. The takeaway is this: stop trying to be understood. Start being interesting. When a woman asks about your job, don't list tasks. What fascinates you about your work? What it's taught you? How it's reshaped your worldview? When she opens up about a challenge, don't rush to fix it. Ask questions that help her reframe her own thoughts. The psychological gap isn't about being distant or cold, it's about being engaged, but not easy to define. Think about the people who fascinate you. They're not the ones you fully understand. They're the ones who surprise you, who reveal something new each time, who keep you thinking long after the conversation ends. Women want that same feeling. And here's the irony. The less you try to be understood, the more they'll want to understand you. There's a moment in every woman's romantic history she remembers with startling clarity, not the moment she fell in love, but the moment she realized she wanted something she couldn't have. It wasn't because the man was cruel or rejecting. It was because he possessed something modern men have systematically trained themselves out of: complete psychological independence. Now, let me be crystal clear. True independence is not emotional unavailability. It's not playing games, and it's not about not caring. True independence means having a life so rich, so purposeful, so genuinely fulfilling that a woman's presence enhances it but doesn't complete it. Marcus Aurelius nailed this when he said, "Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself and your way of thinking." The men who are truly irresistible have internalized this Stoic principle so deeply they radiate what I call psychological sovereignty. What does that look like in practice? You have goals and interests that exist entirely independent of romantic relationships. You make decisions based on your values, not on what might attract or keep a woman. You have a vision for your life so compelling you'd pursue it whether you were single or married. And most importantly, you don't need a woman's approval to feel good about yourself. This is where most men fail. They seek constant validation about their looks, choices, even their worth as human beings. They change their opinions to match hers, drop friends and interests to spend all their time with her, and make her happiness their only source of self-esteem. Then they wonder why the passion dies. Here's a psychological truth that may disturb you. Women lose attraction to men who need them too much. It's not cruelty or selfishness, it's biology. Need-based relationships trigger caretaking, not mating instincts. When you need her validation, approval, or presence to feel whole, she unconsciously starts to see you less as a desirable partner and more as someone to manage. Dr. Esther Perel's research on long-term relationships shows that sexual attraction requires psychological space, a sense that your partner is a separate, autonomous person with their own inner life. When that space collapses and two people fuse psychologically, desire disappears. But here's the twist. Men who maintain their sovereignty don't do it to attract women. They do it because they've discovered a profound truth: you can't truly love someone you need, and you can't be truly loved by someone who needs you. This paradox destroys most relationships. The more you try to secure love by making yourself indispensable, the more you guarantee you'll become dispensable. The sovereign man loves from abundance, not scarcity. He chooses to be with a woman because she adds value to his already meaningful life, not because he needs her to make life meaningful. Women feel this immediately. When they meet a man with his own mission, standards, and fulfillment, something primal awakens inside them. She doesn't just want to be with him, she wants to earn her place in his life. This isn't about playing hard to get, it's about being someone worth getting. The ultimate irony of attraction. The less you need love, the more you naturally receive it. If this video has opened your eyes to a new way of thinking about attraction and relationships, here's what to do next. Hit like and subscribe for more content that challenges the usual ideas about masculinity and dating. Comment below with the word sovereign if you're committed to building the inner strength and self-respect that naturally draws high-quality women. And ask yourself, what would I do with my life if I knew women would be attracted to me, regardless? Then start living that life, because the man who follows his authentic purpose doesn't just attract women, he attracts the right women. And that makes all the difference.